Well, first of all, it was entirely unexpected, especially by left intellectuals. We all bought into the theory of secularization. This was a long-term, inevitable historical tendency. It was the product of modern science and education and democratic politics, and everything was going to set people free from religious authority, and increasingly make religious belief less and less tenable. So we thought, and it's possible that we may still be right over the very, very long run. Secularization seems to be a fact of life in Europe, except among the Muslim immigrants. Church-going is radically down, and people who say they believe that those numbers are radically down. The New York Times yesterday published some recent poll data suggesting that though America is far behind Europe, we are caught up in the same process. And the number of people describing themselves as religiously unaffiliated has grown quite sharply in the past 10, 15, 20 years. Still, there has clearly been in Islam, in Judaism, and in Christianity, the rise of a new kind of orthodoxy or fundamentalism or zealotry, and in Buddhism also, and in Hinduism. And in all of these cases, it has been associated with right-wing politics and sometimes with violence against opponents. And that is a political challenge, totally unexpected political challenge to left, secular, liberal politics. And we're all fumbling with how to respond. No, I mean, those are. Of course, God doesn't rule in the world. At least we never see him doing that, or her, or whoever. It's always people who claim to be the agents of God. So every theocracy is an oligarchy of zealots or priests or religious sages, or an oligarchy of people who claim to speak for God. And an oligarchy is not a democracy, and there isn't any path from one of those religious oligarchies to democracy that doesn't involve the overthrow of the oligarchs. Better than all the others. I think that the European social democracies have come closest to achieving a socio-economic system which is just for the greatest number of its subjects. And that means a highly regulated free enterprise system. And what social democracy did to capitalism in the 19th century domestically is what we now need to do to global capitalism. We need to find a way to impose the same kind of constraints, which means welfare constraints and guarantees of labor rights of organization, union constraints, safety and environmental constraints. We need to impose those kind of restraints on global capitalism as they have been imposed in the best social democratic societies locally.